Hey, welcome back to the Psychic Soul Healer channel. My name is Laura, and I am going to do a general message for Gemini tonight. Now, know that energy is fluid, roles could be reversed. Just interpret the message as it best resonates. Never force anything. And also know if you're not a Gemini and you're called to listen to this video, well, then the message was meant for you too. Because I always believe that regardless of the intention that we have, the message is a spiritual message, and spiritual energy goes to who needs to hear the message. So we could have an intention of someone. Now, if you're a Gemini and you also landed on this, and then guess what? Then that's a double whammy. Like you're like called to it, and let's just say you didn't hear that it was for a Gemini. You listened, came in halfway through when you were called to, is what I'm saying. That it just works like a magnet. That's why in spirit, with spiritual energy, we always get what we need from the universe, not really what we want. That's why you may say, how come I get this person that didn't treat me right? How come these are my parents? How come I had to go through this painful experience, or this experience that made me feel not good enough? And the reason why is to grow you, to help you expand consciousness so you can see a different version of yourself, so you can see a different version of, what you were dealing with, who you were dealing with. I mean, that's what healing is. Healing is to be able to see things from a different perception. A lot of times when we have a wound, spiritual wound, a spiritual block, and we're blocked in a limited perception, one that's very disempowering, one that creates a lot of fear. So if you are someone that is looking for shadow healing, this is definitely your channel. And if you want to do deep shadow healing, you want to definitely check out the Patreon link that has my subscriptions in it. All my subscriptions for shadow healing include inner child healing, shadow healing, reparenting, and the healing modalities that actually help you heal the effects of trauma, such as breath work, meditation, EFT, NLP, and a lot of other healing modalities. Now, every time we meet, you get downloads, you get templates for reframing exercises, reparenting exercises, and a lot of others, as well as you get my Psychic Soul Healer workbook that has over 100 different exercises. And the workbook teaches you how to do meditation, how to do a body scan, how to do a lot of different somatic exercises. So sometimes when we go through trauma, we don't actually remember the experience, but now we don't really even need to learn or remember what the trauma is. We can tap into the wisdom of the body to discover where the energy is, to help the body release the energy. You want to do this because you're a magnet of who and what comes into your life. So if you have trauma and you don't remember it, it's obviously subconscious, but it's still dictating your life. So integrating the spiritual energy is important. So it's not just about doing the healing protocols that help you create the awareness and see things from a different perception, but there's actual rituals and exercises that help you to really fully integrate the spiritual lesson. And that's really what healing is about. Like I said, it's about raising your consciousness to the level of unconditional love. That's what we strive for. And in that, we have to go through experiences that make us persevere, give us strength, make us have courage, that are painful, that create a lot of different feelings and a lot of different emotions that are difficult to process as well as integrate, because we have attachment to whatever it is that we think. It's the people that we care about that come into our lives, like our soulmate, our twin flame, our families that we're born into, that actually awaken the wounds that we have from past life, You live many, many different lifetimes in order to learn that we're not separate from God, not separate from this unconditional love. However, we can get spiritual lessons, karmic lessons that have karmic themes that keep us in a place of disempowerment, ones that create jealousy, fear, anger, resentment, any lower emotional energy. So today, we're going to look at your spiritual wounds, Gemini, and we're going to see how they play out within your relationships. Remember, you're a magnet of who and what comes into your life. So are you deserving of what comes into your life? If it's an undesirable life experience, no, you're not. However, karma is not good or bad. It's we put the label of bad on it. We put our perceptions and our beliefs of what we feel about whatever's happened to us. It's the most important thing. And the reason why I say this is because when you have a spiritual block, what adds another layer of blockage that a lot of times you have to work through before you can even get to the block is the not accepting of the block, not understanding or having judgment about yourself, not forgiving yourself. Like I said, that becomes a whole other obstacle that needs to be integrated. So it's important to look at your wounds and the experiences that created those wounds without judgment. And that's really difficult because, like I said, unconsciously we form behaviorisms, which is why it's really important to do ritual work. But today, like I said, we're going to look and we're going to see how it affects your relationships. Sometimes it affects the relationships where we actually have more empathy and more sensitivity, not just towards our own needs, but the person that we're with. Sometimes it's trauma gives us psychic ability, it gives us strength, it gives us more empathy, it gives us more sensitivity. Now we can have more empathy and sensitivity to a fault. So, like I said, is understanding that wounds really are not good or bad. We place judgment. It's a level of consciousness. We just want to quantum jump into the level of consciousness that is more empowering, one that makes us feel good about ourselves, one that's going to help us create our heaven on earth and get our daily bread, make our money so that we can create the life and the life experiences that we want to have. All right, now Gemini, what are the wounds? Self-righteousness, self-righteousness. A lot of times people that are self-righteous, they have a lot of doubt. So it's a way that we can overcompensate, right? If I don't feel good about myself and I don't want people to know that I don't feel good about myself, if I don't feel strong in myself and I don't want people to know that, I'm going to act self-righteous. To know that a lot of times it's our environment that makes us feel that way. It's a sign of protection. There's really only two energies, love and fear. Now you could also deal with someone that makes you feel that way, or that they display that energy, and that's very triggering for you. Disassociated, indifferent. So really what I'm feeling is what happens is that as a survival mechanism, you've detached. And detachment is that we forget certain parts of the trauma. We may remember some parts of it. Now, when we disassociate from ourselves, there's fragmented pieces of ourselves that we detach from, parts of ourselves that we have rejected, parts of ourselves that we don't like. And so what happens is we unconsciously overcompensate where we may act as if we're overly confident, which is really what the energy is there. It's that it just means when we're self-righteous that we only see our opinion, that that like I said, we only see our opinions. I'm reading the card to see, like I said, and really what that is. It's important to cast doubts aside and believe in all the reasons behind our actions. However, by believing that only our own opinions are right, and that's, again, that's a protection, right? I'm not going to read the whole card, but that's, again, I wanted to see whether there was another layer there, but it's, again, to me, it's just a sense of protection. And no, you might be in a relationship with someone that makes you feel this way. You know, a lot of times, if we were brought up in an environment that made us grow up before our time, and that means we were expected to know things way before we actually went through the experience to obtain the information to learn, it's a survival mechanism. Now, two, if we're not really learning and knowing, and we're just being self-righteous and we're only seeing things from a different perception, then it's very comfortable, and it's also very easy to be detached. It's just, as I said, I feel like you then are seen as indifferent. Now, again, you could be connected to someone that holds this energy and it's affecting you, because that's how spiritual energy works. And that might be a karmic theme, like, hey, I grew up with a parent that only saw things from their level of perception. They were very self-righteous. They didn't want me to have my opinion. I only was allowed to follow their rules and how they believed, and it was traumatic to me because I was continually saw as if there was something wrong with me. So I've detached, and now because I've detached, I'm indifferent, because that's the whatever we're in, I'm not really fully invested because I'm detached. I may be there, but emotionally I'm not there. Mentally I'm not there, which is dangerous because you're a magnet of who and what comes into your life. So you can post someone to you that is, again, very cocky, and they act like they don't really give a shit about you. And that's really because they've disassociated. And really, this is where intimacy issues come from. Intimacy issues are created from, again, detachment, disassociation, and that's from trauma. And that's when we are not really as invested with it. And we might say, well, I feel as if I'm not really, nothing right now in my heart is nothing in my environment is stirring up my heart. Really, passion is what makes us not be indifferent. But if, I'm only seeing things from my perception, it kills passion. Because what happens is then two people get triggered because they are only seeing things from their level of perception, and then and in order to protect themselves, they become self-righteous. That's, again, the mask. And so they act indifferent to protect their heart. And that's really the energy that I'm feeling. But I feel like that's energy, in short, has been with you for a really long time, which, again, childhood wounds, traumas. This is what we look at. So this isn't good. And I'm going to tell you why. Because if someone is, again, they're disassociated and they act indifferent, then they're always playing on your emotions. And they will do things to create an emotional reaction a lot of time because they're acting indifferent. They have trauma that they haven't dealt with, and they're self-righteous. So the more that you give, the more that they wouldn't really be respectful. And so if you're in a relationship with this person, I would assume that it was not going that well. And the reason why, like I said, is because they have intimacy problems. And intimacy problems is trust. And when really you can't trust them. That because they act indifferent. And so, okay, downcast pride. Downcast pride. So in order to not feel their emotions and how they stay disassociated is they have addictions. They either overeat, overdo, and this could be you. Like I said, you're going to have to take the message as it best resonates for you, where you're like, well, I'm in a connection with someone that I really can't see things from their level of consciousness. And it's very triggering for me, and I'm not going to cave. So I'm gonna but it bothers me, it hurts me. Because I do have feelings for this person, but I'm gonna suppress them by, usually it's like a gluttony of behavior, overeating, drinking, doing drugs, running around with a lot of multiple people to suppress their feelings. Remember, they're detached, they act indifferent, they're acting indifferent, but is that really their natural way? No, they're purposely doing it. Why? Because they don't want to see things from your way. Or this could, like I said, be you. Black flower fragrance. So again, this is like, here we go again. You've been in the karmic cycle with this person for a long time. This is like a reoccurring theme with this person, which is why they are able to be self-righteous. They're able to be self-righteous where I'm not going to cave. That's their stance. I'm not going to cave. I have a big ego. I'm protecting my heart. And like I said, and not that I don't feel, I do feel, I just am going to completely suppress so that I can disassociate. I don't like this energy because it's like I said, it's then the energy is almost like a one-up energy. Like when a person is like, well, I'm not gonna act self-righteous, I'm gonna like completely suppress my emotions, act like I don't care, so in hopes that you are going to react. Sneaky. You go behind someone's back to get what you want. So again, you feel like, again, this person is sneaky. Now, if it's the person that you're connected to, doesn't really matter, that because it's like the disassociation could have also happened that you have that trauma, and you have that trauma from the environment that you grew up in. And so, or was in a relationship that had that before this person came into your life. Now, you always feel like you wind up with someone that is self-righteous. They never want to give in. They just want to see things from their perception. They're complete control freaks. And that seems to be like the repeating energy. And so I know this is a repeating cycle just alone with this person because of this card, because this is all about repeating cycles. They like, here we go again, it's the same thing. So we begin to look for it. What are you looking for? Sneaky behavior. And the sneaky behavior is one way is that this person like just won't give in, won't show emotions, tries to manipulate you so that you react, so that you respond. And this happens every time you get into an argument with them. Every time, like every time there's a disagreement, they can't have a conversation. Which is really like very immature, just very immature energy. False front. See, but like I knew this, or we already knew this. Again, false front, like trying to pretend that everything is fine, but you, because there's a spiritual connection, you can feel that everything isn't fine. And like I said, this energy of self-righteous is really what that false front is. like the person wants to sit there and act like they're not affected. I want to see what their hidden truths are, and then I want to see what they did, because it's like I probably should look at see what they did first, but I'm like just curious. Like, well, how does the person really feel? Because we're seeing that they're putting on a false front, they're acting like they don't give a shit about you. But they do. They're just suppressing everything. But how do they really feel? It's time for me to heal now. They don't feel good. They don't feel good because it's again the energy of being disconnected and self-righteous. Like that is that very like low energy, first of all. So when we have low energy, we can feel it. We feel fatigued. And because again, it's showing up in our lives. This person cares about you. So there is a sense that, again, and the reason why is they're in a power struggle with you. They wouldn't be in this power struggle if they didn't care. They would just walk away because remember, they act indifferent. And there's a part of them that normally is indifferent with relationships. This happens to be a strong relationship. So they're seeing that, like, again, that their life really isn't working, not just because of you, but because, again, it's just certain things in their life aren't working and they can feel that they need to change, they need to heal. You happen to be one of those things. I want you. Again, passion normally is what sparks change. Let's face it. Like if we weren't attracted to the person, then would we really stick around long enough to look at our own wounds, to deal with what is triggering us with what this person is doing? We wouldn't. So I feel like, again, this is a very strong, like I want to say spiritual relationship, because there's a sense where this person, like I said, has spiritual issues. And I feel like you have spiritual issues, but there's a lot of chemistry. And that is usually the catalyst that makes people change, right? It was my fault, but I blamed you. Again, that was the front. I'm so attracted to you. So we know that, again, there's right now, what I see is like, it's a lot of passion. There's a lot of that where this person is like, even to the point of obsessive, where they're looking at their own life and they want to make positive changes in their life, but it's mainly because of, they're attracted to you. They want different from their life. They want different from what they have. I feel like normally in their relationships, they have the upper hand. They're usually the person that doesn't cave, which is why they're used to, again, like this front that they put on of not caring, being self-righteous, suppressing their emotions, acting like they don't give a shit. They're used of that. It normally works for them where the other person caves. That's not working. And so this person really has to surrender their ego. And really, that's why they know that they have to heal, because it comes down to the fact of, is it really important that I'm right? Or is it important that that I talk to this person again because I'm attracted to them? I kind of want to date them. I kind of want to get to know them more. I feel like they would manipulate things to, like I said, make you give them more, to just make sure that you were continually giving to them. And so that almost like reassuring them that they need their ego fed a lot, which is why they, like I said, blamed you. But really, they knew that it was their fault. I love you. I believe that, like you said, due to like this situation of how they act. And so let's see what they did. I believe that, like I said, what they did, they knew was wrong. but it doesn't seem to matter because now they're kind of like changing their tune. And it's funny how love does that, right? Like when a person first does something to us and we have a spiritual connection to them, we want to yell and scream. We want to be like, have 1,000 reasons of why we're right and the other person's wrong, and why what the person did was so wrong to us, why it hurt. We kind of want them to pay, to show us that they're sorry, to reassure us how much they care. And which is what I feel like your person was always, in a sense of trying to make you do more, give more. And again, not look at what they did. We're going to look and see what they did, but almost like, don't look at what I do. Don't look at, like, we have this connection. It's okay the way that I treat you, and you weren't having it. And then what happens is again, they are normally able to, disassociate, but this is their trauma. This is their trauma. I also believe like you have that trauma, and that so you may say, I have the trauma where I attract people that emotionally can't give to me. They act as if they're indifferent all the time. They're emotionally cut off. So yeah, so it does play out in your life, and how it would be healing for you is to see that this person that did that to you actually comes back and acts differently. Now, whether you take them back or not, that's something different. But what I'm saying is when they're coming back to you is going to be very cathartic, because again, they acted very self-righteous, like they don't give a shit. They put on a front. They want everyone to believe that they're fine. And you're watching them and you're like, you don't even look like you're really being affected. They are being affected. They suppress all their feelings, their emotions. But really what's bubbling up is the feelings that they really do care, and that they have to look now at their behavior. And really what I see now is that it doesn't matter who's right, who's wrong. This person is saying that what really matters is the fact that I still care. I love you. But again, the catalyst is that there's a lot of passion there. So, which is good. Okay, so let's also see what they're going to do, because there is a third party. I abandon people to make myself feel important. So I believe that again, that there was a third party, which is that they never, but not someone that they really care about. I believe that they act so indifferent and would be talking to a lot of different people. And I do believe that the third party is someone that's connected to them. They're not really connected to them anymore. At one time they were, but they never emotionally gave to this person. Like I said, they're normally able to just be with people and not care. With you, they actually care. And like it said, here it is. I abandoned people to make myself feel important. That was a self-righteousness. What they did to you is what I feel like. And they did this to the third party too. And so the third party is still attached to them. Oh, I'm feeling like this person was a player. You are the person of my dreams. So I believe that they were with somebody at one point, but again, it was not a deep connection for them because they're detached. And most likely have addictions and other things. So nothing really keeps them entertained. They don't really have passion in their life. They get passionate about people, but that is a limited passion. And why I say that is because a person can't be what heals you. It's your passion for life that heals you. This person needs to heal their intimacy problems at the root. Now, I have to say that because it's like what this says is there's a third party there. And that's because this person tends to never close doors all the way. And they don't really care about anyone except for themselves. And so I feel like they've never really looked at anyone else's feelings. They are with you because you made them. You made them. So you're the person in their dreams because you don't make it easy for them. You don't just give in. This person, like, love bombs, I feel like, gets what they want and then leaves people. And they, again, they abandon people to make themselves feel better because it just leaves the person hanging where the person wants an explanation, wants like to talk about it, and they don't really want to. They just want to come and go as they please. With you, you're like, oh no, this isn't happening. And possibly because you're disassociated, again, detached, and because of your trauma of being hurt. Now, if someone comes into your life, they really have to put in a lot of effort in order for you not to be like disassociated. And what happened is that actually worked in your favor. Remember, if you were chasing this person would have never chased you back. I'll let you know that. Because like I said, they leave people. They have intimacy issues. So again, intimacy issues a lot of times are created from abandonment. So what happens is if you don't act as if you are fawning all over this person, it actually works in your best interest. Now, they wanted you to fawn all over them in the beginning of this relationship. They get people to fawn all over them, and then they leave them. With you, you didn't do that. You were like, okay, I feel like there was always an attraction there, but there was even more of an attraction because you were like, oh no, I'm not doing this. I think the world of you. So again, they have a lot of respect for you. People that are very indifferent, that are detached, they tend to only navigate relationships through passion, through like feeling, through lust. And so what happens is that the relationship only lasts so long, and then usually ends badly because there was no real glue to that. It was built on fantasy. It was built on like, like no deep real connection, here for a good time, not a long time. And so that's how this person's used to living their life, and you didn't go for it. You didn't go for it. And I don't think that they've ever dealt with that before, right? A lot of times if a person is used to dating people that are confident wouldn't put up with this shit. So, the only people that are going to put up with a person that is, only very surface and doesn't get that deep, and they can't get that deep if they want to be in full control. And they're to the point that they will suppress their emotions and act like they don't give a shit and put on a front to act like they don't give a shit, to make you, again, feel bad, to make people feel bad. Again, they abandon people to make themselves feel important. See how desirable I am? It's again, and if you would have did that, chase them and talk to them, which is what they assumed you were going to do, but you did not do it. You didn't make them feel important. So part of this is, again, their ego, but they also are respectful, like, of you because of that, which is why they're like, I actually really like you. Where like in the beginning, I think that they liked you because they were attractive, but now they really like you. They weren't planning on forming any sort of emotional bond. That's the irony of this. The irony is that wanted full control, no showing any feelings, not showing any emotions, not giving anything, and really putting on a front, but down deep inside, they care about you and they respect you. And now that you walked away, they're like, that's when they realized it. It's funny. There is so much I want to tell you. I have sexual fantasies about you. Okay, like this is what I'm saying, like the passion that this person has. But I feel like that just happens to be their their language. Their language is touch. Their language, how they express, feeling. Like, you might say, well, everyone expresses feeling. Well, some people buy people gifts. Some people are like to communicate with words. This person is more like, again, like express. I feel like, again, they a bit of a womanizer or a manizer. I don't know if there's such a word, but a player energy is what I'm feeling. That they're used to keeping it surface, keeping people hanging, having people chase them, having people desire them to feed their big ego. Can't do that now because, like, again, they're stuck in like all the cards on this. I had to pull out a different deck because every single card is I have sexual fantasies of you. You're the person in my dreams. I think the world of you. Like, I love you. But of course, this is why they know that it's time to heal. If they want to be with you, or they want to ever even talk to you again, I feel like they know that they have to heal. Not even if they want to be with you, because I think that this person's a little bit insecure underneath their self-righteousness and all their, and again, needing people to dote on them and leaving people being player energy in and out, making people feel abandoned so that they feel important. Remember, this person is very insecure. But passion is the fire that helps transmute those wounds. And the reason why is if you're different, this person has no choice but to be different. They're not saying, oh, you're trying to control me. What they're seeing is you don't give a shit. You're not playing my games. And they're saying, but I like you. So that's forcing them to change. You see? I feel lost without you. Different duck. And so you might say, well, I didn't really know them that well. I feel like, again, the spiritual connection where you feel like home to this person, they feel safe with you, is that energy. And that's why I'm saying it's almost like they always felt like you were going to be there. There was, because they saw that you're a genuine person, that you care. They're used to dealing with phony baloney people too. Surface people also, because like goes to like. And so I just feel like they like to leave people hanging. I run away to avoid facing my problems. And this is like I said, they are still very insecure. I want to see what they're going to do. I have unwittingly sabotaged our connection. And that's what everything, like they're realizing that they sabotaged the connection. And so I feel like this person doesn't really know how to fix it, because like I said, they normally run away from their problems. So, and they're normally self-righteous, so they don't admit to even having problems normally. So this is going to be an exercise in humbling for them. And that's what happens, like I said, really when we're loved makes persons surrender their ego. And really the ego is the part of self that we created due to our environments, our perceptions, and our perceptions that were really built on, distorted perceptions where we felt limited, not good enough, not safe. So we create an ego. And the ego is what, we want the world to perceive that we are. And in this case, the person wanted to act strong and confident. And really now what they realized in doing that, they really sabotaged the connection, because it's not about that. It's about, intimacy, but it's showing them what they need to do to heal. And that's what it said here. It's like the person's realizing they sabotaged the connection, that this was a good connection. And really they didn't do it for any reason except for wanting to be right, really coming into the relationship with wounds. But now they feel lost. I was going to say, they know that it's time to heal. They know that it's time to heal. But I'm feeling like they know that it's time to heal, because if they ever want to talk to you ever again, part of healing for them would be to come back and apologize, to humble themselves, to not be self-righteous, to not just jump to conclusions. Because I also feel like that self-righteous was just a reactive behavior to overcompensate for their lack. There was something I am hiding from you. And I think, again, that's just how they feel about themselves. I wish you knew how grateful I am to have met you. Yes, because you created a lot of awareness for this person. You created, like I said, they were stuck in wanting to be right. And in wanting to be right all the time, they could never really have a deep relationship. And they also knew that they would always go into every relationship, I feel, sabotaging it. So they would never really give the relationship a chance. And instead of them feeling bad about it, what they would do is they would come in, get what they wanted. I'm real charming, maybe love bomb and peace out. They would go, and then that would create a lot of turbulence in their relationship. So there was always like kind of like a third party, but people that they weren't really connected to, but someone that was connected to them. And so always kind of trying to put you into a third party so people would like fight over you to make them that this person feel desirable. They would get like a kick out of it almost, but really it's because they don't feel good about themselves. So what they realized is that you didn't put up with it. You triggered their abandonment issues. Now they're like head over heels for you. But I don't know, did they blow it with you? I mean, did they blow it with you? I'm going to pull the card because I don't know. Like, well, I want to look at the trigger to see, like, I mean, I would think that they blew it with you because they acted like, you know, now that they realize a lot of times it's like what you saw was another karmic cycle going around with them to act in the same way like they always did. And so dominate. I felt I had no sense of control over my choices because you wanted to dominate me. Yeah, like I feel like I said, you're still like in this place of I don't really want to be in a relationship with you because I don't trust you because you're manipulative. And that's how you dominate the relationship. You dominate the relationship where you want to dominate my mind, where I'm always thinking about the relationship. You need to feel powerful. You need to feel important is what I'm feeling. There's a part of you that's like, I don't trust you. I don't trust you in this, in making me feel safe. Now I want to like pull from to be safe, a love oracle. Losing you is my biggest regret. I feel totally lost and alone now. You deserve better than me. I feel like this is them. And I feel like that's how they feel. I'm sorry for putting you in a third party situation. I'm miserable, but I don't have the courage to leave. So it's again, this person like is not, I feel like is not going to do anything. I was looking to see how you felt, but the truth of the matter is like, I feel like you just don't trust this person because they will always try to get the relationship like on uneven playing field, meaning where they elevate themselves because they always have a third party that's on the back burner. And again, they don't even like whoever's on that back burner. However, it's like I feel like there was somebody, like I said, that's very attached to them that they're not really attached to. So they may be in a relationship with somebody else, but not in a relationship with someone else. It's like a relationship of convenience, a relationship where there's no passion, a relationship that that they're not happy in. And so which is why they need to be with people and have people fawn all over them, not really give that much energy to. And then on top of it, when it's done, just done. So what I'm seeing is that this person really did have feelings for you. and it's making them change. However, they're still not strong enough to leave that third party. And so again, they're miserable. What it's looking like is eventually, if they keep healing, they will eventually leave that third party, but they will no longer be able to be with you because you're not interested. And so they think the world of you, they respect you, but until they do the healing work, they can't have you. And then like they can never actually have you ever. But they won't even be able to get a person that has your character, has whatever, because what you did was you were like, no, you cut this. You didn't allow it. You saw it for what it was. And in the end, it made them, they're stuck, they're miserable. It made them feel the loss by their life because they had a true connection with you. It's just they're in a situation with somebody that they don't really want to be in, and for whatever reason it doesn't really say, but what it did say is that you came very close, closer than anyone else has, and now you're like the person that got away. They will think about this relationship for the rest of their life is what I'm feeling, because it can never really be recovered and they're stuck with someone that they don't like, which understand what worse thing is there when you really want to be with someone else and you're stuck with someone that you don't want to be with, and now you're watching the person that you like move on where you'll have a good life. You broke this karmic cycle, so you're open to a new relationship. This was a situation that was karmic, I believe, for you, and in not settling, even though that this was a deep connection, it was a karmic lesson for sure for them because they're stuck in regret, and it's making them heal. And I don't really see them staying in this third party forever. I just don't think that they will never be able to recover this relationship though. I'm going to leave that there, Gemini. I hope that you resonated. Let me know. And remember, if you want to enter into winning a free reading with me, write the word universal panacea in your comment bar, and I will talk to you guys soon. Bye.